Alright, welcome back to IB Explained, and today we're going to be talking about credits that you get from your IB courses.
Yeah, we're just going to explain a little bit about each one, I think. Kind of go over. If you're deciding, your schedule for next year and, what you want to take.
What to expect.
This will kind of break it down for you a little bit, hopefully. So, if you're DP, I don't know if they're changing it next year.
Yeah, they're, changing stuff around, so I'm not really sure.
So, we're going to give you our best knowledge as of right now.
We're in literature right now.
Right now, DP has to take literature as of, our class. I think they might be changing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can take literature and language, I've heard from, the people who graduated last year, literature doesn't get you many credits in college unless you're, using that for a specific, reading-based major.
Mm-hmm.
Take literature and language. That's, more of your standard freshman college class.
Yeah.
And I know language goes a little bit more into, I've heard they do,
song
lyrics and more, interesting stuff like that.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Our literature class is just straight, books, Socratics, essays.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
a lot of analyzing.
It's a lot of analyzing.
And so do we want to talk about papers and stuff?
Yeah.
So, from what we've heard, it has 3 paper exams.
It has an
2.
oral.
It has an oral.
An HLSA.
An HLSA.
And paper 1.
Yeah, paper 1.
Yeah, I think that's...
Something like that. And so, so your oral...
We're doing our best.
Oral, you're going to have a work in translation and a regular work. And you're going to compare them and try and build off a global issue off of both of them. That's what your oral is. Make sure you practice for that.
It's 10 minutes.
10 minutes of talking.
Your paper 1 is going to be, you get a random excerpt from kind of a random piece of literature, and you're going to have to analyze it and pick out a global issue and a bunch of literary devices. And then your HLSA.
You do that
on
your
a book.
Your 11th grade year. Yeah, you pick a work that you've read that year, and you pick kind of a motif, symbol, idea, image, something like that, and you connect it to a global issue. And how many words was it? 1,500?
It really wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't.
Pretty easy.
It's only bad if you put it off.
Yeah,
It's not bad if you don't. And make sure, pick something that you like as well, because otherwise you're going to hate yourself. Because you're going to be stuck reading this book that you don't like and analyzing it to the stars, and you're like, I don't even know what it means.
Whatever you use in your HL, you can't use for your oral.
Yes. So choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it'll be okay.
All right. Math classes.
So
2 of us are in applications
Okay,
and interpretations SL.
IB offer, at our school at least, they might be changing it. Literally,
I don't know.
Stuff is happening right now. Currently, they have IB Calc, which is you have to take AP Calc, I think, to be in it. And it's they only have 5 kids in that class. And most people won't go into that. And then there's AI and AA. I've heard from people that typically AA is harder than IA, but it depends on the person. And I know the testing in AI is a little bit easier, so it depends on what math you've come from, but
Yeah, if you're strong in math,
do AA.
do AA.
If you're not strong in math, then do AI.
and if you're not strong in math, it's okay if you're an AA.
Our teacher told us.
I made it, yeah.
Our
You'll
teacher
survive.
told us that IBAI is for students that aren't strong in math, but they still want to get all the group
the IB.
credits.
Yeah.
They still get a lot of credits for the class.
So
Oh yeah. Also, math AI apparently gets more credits than AA.
Yeah, that's what I've
It's an
heard.
easier
what we've
class,
heard.
and you get more credits. Make your decision wisely. And I know if you came from pre-calc, they're gonna try and put you in AA. Probably a good idea. But either go calc because you get that college credit that you don't have to do, or AI. That would probably be the best. Not deferring you from AA. A lot of people don't sign up for it because it's unnecessarily hard. You get less credits.
yeah.
It's just a weird situation. Also, I'm in AA, and our tests are really similar to those of IB tests. So they're written ones, whereas the AI tests are multiple choice, right? For the most part? No?
They're free.
Are they written too?
We've had
Yeah.
multiple choice ones, but we also have.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
a mix.
We
Okay.
start
We
slower.
get the IB curve.
We start slower.
Oh, we have a curve too. The IB curve is a whole nother episode. I
And
don't
then
even
for
know.
both classes, you have to do an IA,
Mm-hmm.
and for both, you have to do
A math IA. Yeah, it's kind of like an investigation.
yeah,
over something.
yeah.
And I feel like it sounds intimidating, but you get a lot of
You get a
time
lot of
to, like,
help
plan
time,
and-
class time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
All right.
Okay.
Social studies. So basically, history and
So,
psychology is what we're going to
History,
be talking
psych. Are there any other ones?
about. I mean, business management. But
Oh,
we don't.
we
none of us take
we
that.
don't. We can't touch on that because we haven't taken it.
Yeah.
But it's 1 year at our school, so.
Yeah. So we have psychology HL and history HL,
Mhm.
right?
We have a history SLHL and psych SLHL,
Mm.
like offered at our school
Okay.
at least. The SLs are 1 year. The
Mhm.
HLs are 2 year.
Okay.
How do you feel about the history SL? You think that was a good choice?
Yeah, I do actually. I liked it. It was like half the history curriculum, and I like this year that I don't like. I have an empty space,
Yeah.
so I have that like free class almost, and I get to do what I want.
That's true.
So I'm thankful for it in that way. I don't know if I would have, like, if I would have gone back. I don't know what I would have done because I think the HL was also good, like, because you get more credits that way. Because SL you only get
Yeah.
half credits. So it depends on like if you know what you want to do, and history is something that you're really interested. Go HL. But I didn't like history when I signed up, so I went SL, and it worked out fine.
Yeah, okay.
So McKenna's in HL, so she can tell you more about that. But
HL is basically the same thing as SL, just like an extended version.
Just with more stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just more information. But I like history, so
mm,
I really like HL. But I think it just depends on what you want. And then if you take the SL, you can have a free period, possibly.
yeah. Okay, and then Riley and I are in Psych HL, so I'll let her talk about that.
Psych HL, it's pretty fun. I like it a lot because I want to be a psychology major. You get a lot of paper studies that you have to memorize. Not really memorize, but just kind of
Just,
know
like,
the general
be
gist of
familiar
it.
with
Be
it,
familiar. She really puts you through a lot of, like, kind of working them into your brain. The studies, they can get a little bit hefty, so that's why you
Yeah.
want to keep a separate folder for them.
sure, yeah. And don't be too overwhelmed. Like, I know, like, research is hard to read as well.
Yes.
Like, they use a lot of, like, jargon that you've probably never heard before.
Yeah.
I haven't either. So just, like, take it slow, ask questions, and read the abstract.
Read the abstract. It's the most important
Yeah.
thing you can do. Look at tables. Just try and, like, break it down to as simple as you can. Just don't freak out when you see a huge study that looks very, very complicated, because this is, like, what did she say it was? Undergraduate kind of
Undergraduate
college
research and stuff like
research,
that, yeah. And then the IA for psych, you get to do your own experiment, which is really, really,
Really fun.
interesting. It's so
Yeah,
fun.
I
You have like a
thought-
whole month of like doing your
Yeah,
own
it was.
thing.
I thought it was a lot of fun, personally. And if you do your experiment well enough, you get to be statistically significant, and
And then
that's the best reward you can
I
get.
mean, yeah, or you could be the most unsignificant. And apparently there's a trophy for that. Okay.
Okay.
Science.
All right.
You're both from Kent, right?
Yeah, so we have at our school physics, chem, and bio. Our school currently chem is HL and bio is HL, but I think they're just changing to SL chem,
Yes.
and physics is SL. So, I mean, who wants to get started?
I'll start with bio.
Okay.
Because
Our bio queen.
Bio is probably my hardest class because it's just so much content. Like,
Yeah.
we have like a test or two a week, and so it's very easy to get behind in that class. And yeah, don't miss school because you will miss a whole unit. And then you'll be very lost. So just stay ahead in bio.
I feel like all the science classes kind of get into a very more complicated
Yeah,
kind
they're
of
very advanced.
Yes,
to-
like if you took honors, either of these, it's
Yeah.
like honors is like one chapter of these,
Exactly,
like maybe
yeah,
like a
like-
week or two.
like that is like the very start of the amount of like
Yeah.
chemistry and biology you can learn. But the
It goes
IB
very
extends
quickly.
it to a lot more. There's a lot more behind it.
Yeah.
Because I know that for our chemistry class, our chemistry honors class, it kind of only reached to like what stoichiometry,
Stoichiometry basic level.
basic level, But then
Use lesson
IB, you
one.
get more in
Yeah.
depth into that. You
It-
get a lot more in depth.
Yes.
You kind of have to know that stuff, like, just off the top of your head, just immediately, for you to,
like
kind of
basic
extend your...
knowledge.
But yeah,
exactly.
I honors for both of these classes, I'm sure is necessary though. You don't
Yes.
want to go into them without
No.
having that knowledge.
Uh-huh.
I know I think generally chemistry is more like research and like lab report based,
Mm-hmm.
and bio is more like exams and testing, right? You guys
Yeah.
test like once a week. We
Yeah,
have
math,
a lot of
math,
lab
a lot
reports.
of math and chemistry as well.
Yes, if
Math.
you're good at math, you're gonna be fine. And if you're not, you're also gonna be okay. Don't worry. Yeah, we do a lot of experiments.
Mhm.
Maybe like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Depends on the unit though.
Lab reports.
Lab reports are frequent.
They are pretty frequent.
Get ready for that, but it's manageable. So.
Yeah. And then IAs for both of us.
Mhm, we're both
Um,
working on them right now.
We are, yeah.
They seem to be pretty similar.
Yeah,
so,
you basically
like
do your own experiment.
experiment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like you do in
It's like a
psychology.
science fair.
Yeah.
You're basically
Pretty
just
much,
doing a
yeah.
science fair. Is that it for that?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay.
And then
Okay, language.
language.
Spanish.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, we already said like literature. Okay,
No,
language.
Spanish is
Yes.
hard for me because I think it's a personal issue.
I think something
So-
that you don't know as like a freshman or like a sophomore is when you're in IB, you have to take Spanish,
Yes.
like a language,
Yeah.
every single year. You cannot take a skip year because then you'll be behind. If you took,
Which is
yeah, they're gonna throw you into Spanish 4 in IB. So if you didn't take Spanish 1 as an 8th grader, you're gonna be behind, which is really unfair because I thought I was ahead doing that, but
But
I was
no,
like
you were
on
on
track.
track.
So it's like, I don't know.
Mhm.
What do you guys think?
Spanish, you have to apply yourself outside of the Spanish class in order to learn the amount you need for your test. So, personally, I don't think I'm that skilled in Spanish. I feel like I fall behind in that class because whenever she's talking, I just kind of zone out and I
just
don't
kinda
know
feel
what's...
tears in my
Yeah.
But you have to kind of do stuff outside of the classroom in order to kind of build up your Spanish skills. And they preach that, but I know that a lot of people don't. They don't end up doing it, and that's what gets the Spanish oral exam and the listening exam and the reading exam to be really kind of hard for people.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean...
The exams are not like a fake it till you make it situation.
Like, you actually-
you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be good at writing, reading,
Mhm.
listening, and talking.
Speaking.
The
I
whole
mean-
shebang.
Hmm. Get started now. Study at home. Don't wait. Do like a little bit every day, maybe like once a week. You do like an extra hour.
Having a good
And
vocabulary
yes,
is
know
gonna be
your
so
grammar
helpful.
basics. I
Grammar,
forgot most of those.
Basic.
That'll help you
That is
so
the problem-
much.
That is the problem with most of us is that we do not
We just
really
forgot
know
how to conjugate and stuff like that,
conjugations
yeah.
and basic grammar kind of stuff like that. You have to have a foundation for this class, or else you're not gonna be able to just describe, because what you have to do is describe a lot of pictures and then kind of relate them to like a global problem.
It's so
or like
hard.
it's,
so
yeah.
it's very, very
You gotta
hard.
know what you're doing.
And this is our SL class as well. This is
Yeah,
our
oh my
SL.
gosh.
So if you
You're
kind
an
of
HL gal.
if you
Good
don't
luck.
know
You
basic
gotta know what you're
Spanish,
doing, yeah.
if you don't know basic Spanish that well, we suggest you try and get on that before you start this class.
Get that grammar down pat. For sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Music and arts. So we don't have anybody to talk about art, but me and McKenna are both in IB Music.
I'm
Oh, no,
happy.
Sorry.
no,
That's a
not
lie. Got the
I'm
gas.
just in IB Music. So my first year, we did a lot of journals, basically learning how to analyze music, learning about history of music. We study everything from, I think it was the
Baroque era or
Baroque,
something?
middle, kind of Renaissance.
Middle Ages.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
To
It
like
was a
the
long time
Romantic
ago.
era and modern day music, and so basically it's just textbook work. That's what you're
It's
doing.
very independent. It's
Um,
outside of
Yeah,
class.
very independent because what a lot of people don't know is that IB Music is a class outside of school for us because during the day I take band and I play
First year.
clarinet. Yeah, for sure.
Concert master.
And so, basically when I'm in school I do band, but then every Monday now, my junior year we did it every other Monday, but senior year we're doing every Monday. That I have to go after school for about an hour or so, and do kind of work for IB Music, and they have you do, I think, three separate projects that you have to do. There's no like exam. It's kind of just projects. You're basically composing pieces, performing them, kind of analyzing pieces as well. It's just like a whole kind of, I guess, music exploration.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's not music appreciation. It kind of goes deeper than that.
Do you guys like actually play your instruments or
Yes, for our
like
projects.
in class? Okay.
No, not in class.
It's
but
more just like
by
music
ourselves.
history and
Yeah,
stuff.
so like there's like different aspects. I think it's like performer, researcher,
Oh,
and
yeah.
composer. And so you're composing music, meaning, yeah, you do
You're
that.
composing.
And performing them, which you're just going to take performances that you've done and then just like analyze those. And then researching music, analyzing it. But yeah, that's basically what IB Music is. Again, we don't have anybody to
We
speak
don't have
about
anyone on art. If you're good at art, take it. If you're like someone who doesn't really like you like to be creative, but art's not your strong thing, take an extra like social studies. You're gonna save yourself. IBR is for people who
Yeah, these
are
aren't
going
really-
into art professionally.
These
Hopefully,
aren't
like
required.
they are good at it.
The music and arts are not required.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like,
So,
I have a free period,
If
so-
you don't aren't into music or art or anything like that, just take another social studies. You'll have maybe a free class period.
Yeah, it works out great.
Wonderful.
Yes. So don't worry if you're not like that kind of person.
Yeah, exactly.
They have most people aren't, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And finally, TOK.
One of my favorites.
I
Yes.
love
TOK.
TOK is a good class.
Theory of
Because so basically for the first part, it's basically just kind of the core of everything. Kind of expanding your knowledge, trying to think outside the box, that sort of.
Like
it kind of has that
philosophy,
idea.
kind of.
Yeah,
Philosophy.
it's a lot of like
It does have a philosophical
thinking.
aspect.
deep.
to it.
Yeah, it's a lot of like group knowledge and
Yeah.
sharing your ideas, and
It's pretty.
there's
Straightforward
like
and
no
simple.
homework except
No
for
homework.
discussions.
Discussion
So
forums and
Which
journals.
don't forget
Forget.
about those. Yeah.
Oh
Oh, yeah.
a reminder on my phone. Right
Yeah,
now.
you.
I miss so much.
I know for the start, you kind of forget that they exist for a little bit. But once you get past your TOK exhibition, which is going to be you're picking 3 objects that you have a special connection to and kind of using kind of like a knowledge
You relate
aspect
them
off
to
of
like
that.
a central
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, and so that's what your TOK exhibition is. Once you're past that, it's going to be a lot of
Free time.
It's a lot
Free
of like
time-
studying.
free time studying, and then now we're working on college kind of
Mm.
applications, resumes, stuff like that.
Which is
so
really helpful.
yeah, you get a lot of time.
Yeah, use your
for-
time wisely. for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Like you get a lot of time to like think about your college essays, applications, and so that's really nice.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So.
If you've made it this far through our episodes, thank you for listening. I
Really
hope
video.
we've given you some knowledge, and best of luck.